Hey YouTube, just wanted to show off my newest acquisition here, my SBBN031 Tuna. It is the 300 meter one. I struggled between this and the 1,000 meter one, but what ultimately drove that decision, two things. I like the dome crystal, I know, sucker for a dome crystal, and the case back access. Yeah, the 1,000 meter monocoque one would be super cool to have, and I could take the movement out myself, but I just didn't want to have to fiddle around with that. So this was a good compromise. It looks great. But what I wanted to share with you is kind of a old saying, and I'll zoom in on these a little bit here. Sometimes the wanting is better than the having. So I paid $1,000 for this watch. And I got it from Seiko, Japan. And I struggled. This watch has been in and out of various internet carts for the better part of 2 years. I just wasn't sure I wanted it, and then I would be dead set on buying it, and then I'd wait a couple days, and I'm not so sure. Anyway, I did it, and I'm really glad I did, because now it's, you know, the official Tuna Can Club here, so I like it. But what I wanted to do was compare with this one here. I bought this watch, it must be close to 10 years ago now. Maybe not quite that long, but definitely quite a long time ago. And so when I look at these two, I thought, well, gosh, everybody complains about the size of this thing, or they ask whether they could pull it off or not. So I wondered myself, because I don't have the biggest wrist ever. Let me back up here again. I don't have the biggest wrist ever. I think they're right at 7 inches. But here's the thing. So when I put this watch on, you can see it has a massive wrist presence. I mean, the lugs actually hang over a little bit, if you can see that. And this one, because obviously if you're watching this, you guys know all the specs and what makes this watch special, but the inset lugs really definitely make this sit a lot better on the wrist. In fact, I think it looks smaller on my wrist than that Kinetic Tuna because of the way the case looks. And you can see there, it actually physically takes up less room on my wrist. Sits up a little higher, but that's okay. I like it. So, okay, this is one of the criticisms I have. You saw when I took it off, bam, that happens every single time. This is super sensitive. If you move it that much beyond just being able to take it off, like just bump it, it doesn't even have to really be that much. It's just that little bit. The ratchet extension deploys. It's not a big deal in that you can just, if it does come undone, like it just did there, I would just put the watch on, click it, and then it's on. But that's the problem, is that, see, it did it again. That thing is super sensitive, and I will say it's just a little bit annoying. It's almost unnecessarily light in that respect. So I can't say I really like that very much. The other thing is, when I look at just the quality of this one versus the quality of this one, other than the movement, I just don't see that this one is, yeah, it's got the ceramic insert. This one's just the, I guess, the anodized insert, the enameled one. But the heft on this one is, it feels every bit as solid as this. Now, I will say that the crown on this one, when you pull the crown out, it will wobble a little bit. This one is rock solid. Also, people were saying that the threads on this crown were super buttery smooth. I would say that this is the equal of that. I mean, in fact, I have to say, going back and forth between these two, these feel smoother. I know, 500 bucks, and I like the GMT function too, because I do travel a little bit. And then when we go to Japan to visit, it's nice to have kind of a reference time for home, because that just stays on your home time, and you quick adjust this one. I like the date window on here at the, you know, between the, at the 3:30 position, I guess, or I guess 4:30 position. But I do like that super cool date window, the kanji date window. I'm of Japanese ancestry, so I can read that. Doesn't bother me one bit. It's Friday, by the way, for those who don't know. That's Kinyobi. But So don't get me wrong, I like it. You know, here's kind of a comparison of the two. They're thickness-wise, they're exactly the same. This one again wears bigger on the wrist, and I'm getting this strap for this watch. I like bracelets. I'm just not the biggest fan of bracelets. I think it makes it look way sportier on the rubber strap. I guess new silicone strap. And I know people say they don't like that metal keeper, but I really like it a lot. I didn't like the rubber one as much, so I must be in the minority there. I like this. But so, you know, overall at $1,000, I think let me back that up. It is a awesome watch. $1,000, I don't know. I've spent more. I mean, believe I've got 2 IWC Aqua timers and they were super expensive. But I just have to go with the notion that this was specifically built, the movement was specifically built, the case was specifically built. This is probably closer to the original at 300 meters quartz watch. And of course I've read the history of it, but I didn't commit it to memory or anything. But at any rate, so I do think this is a great watch. And I'm really impressed with how the hand really snaps into place. It hits all the markers, the chapter ring lines up perfectly. It doesn't necessarily on this one, but I've seen plenty of Seikos that, I guess it does line up pretty well, that, you know, they're more expensive ones and they don't line up. So I don't know if I can chalk that one up to just this one being a better watch. Overall, I think if this watch was, gosh, even in the $750 range, this would be like a super duper value. It'd be insane. But at $1,000, I don't know. I like it. My wife likes it. She was impressed with it. I was going to get the Darth. I'm glad I didn't do that because I know she wouldn't have liked it. But I do like it, and it's definitely a keeper. I'm not gonna sell it or trade this one off. But I don't know. This is like, maybe I set myself up to expect something like otherworldly when I pulled it out of the box. And it's a nice watch and it works great. And you guys know the specs if you're watching this video. So I'm not going to go over all that, but I don't know. Well, time will tell. Sometimes they grow on me more and more, but I will say this is a way better value than my reissue Arnie at $500. I like that watch, but the more I have it, the less it feels like $500 worth of watch for sure. Especially when you consider that this one is also $500 and this thing is a boat anchor. I mean, look at the machining in that case. It's just, and I beat this watch. It's embarrassing to say what I put this watch through when I really should have taken it off. And I stubbornly left it on. But it's been a great watch so far. And it keeps accurate time too. It's probably not, I hope this one is more accurate than this one. It's not bad. It's not great. For a quartz watch, it's what you'd expect for a quartz watch. But it's not, you know, with everybody talking about sometimes getting into plus or minus a second a month on something like this. This is definitely not that. So if this is plus or minus 15 seconds a month, I'll totally buy that. But and I do like the fact that this one, this kinetic, say what you will about it, you know, not being as good as an automatic and not being as reliable as a quartz because you do have to wind it. You don't have to wind it that much, and it'll go into a dormant sleep mode. But you never have to change the battery on this thing because there isn't one. I like if you've never seen it, it's got applied markers. Yeah, they're plastic, but they do sit proud of the dial, so it's a 3D effect. This is a nice watch. Anybody who says this isn't a real Tuna, I would say, well, what defines that? You know, I mean, the water rating on this one is 200 meters. It's a 200 meter watch. I would feel just as safe taking this diving as I would this one, and this is not an indictment of this watch. I know people are going to probably see it and think I'm busting up on this watch. I just don't know if this watch is twice the watch that this one is at $500 versus $1,000 here. You know what I mean? So again, I like it a lot. Time will tell. It will grow on me. I know it will. And I will say that when I look at that dome crystal, it totally, look at that. It redeems itself every time. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that thing is super cool. So I'm wondering if they have a mod crystal for the same diameter as this, that would give me that dome look. But I like this watch. It's been real good to me. But again, this was just kind of featuring this one here, a little Christmas present to myself. And again, real nice watch. I really like it. It sits on my wrist a lot better than I thought it would. It's comfortable. And I think, you know, maybe a follow-up when I get the new strap, I'll get it this evening, put on this watch. It might change the character of it all. Part of it is just this bracelet. I just struggle with it, and I can't say I really like it that much. And not just because it's this on this watch or this bracelet. I'm saying most times I prefer it, big diver watches on this, just because it's more compliant. During the day, you can, you know, loosen it and tighten it very easily. I know this one has that ratcheting system, but you know, you still have that. You still have this. I mean, even if you're like, oh yeah, I need to relieve the watch, you still have that section sticking out, which I don't know if I'd use that option very often, but this one is just a quick, you know, just move it a hole, you know. So, but we'll see what happens with this one on the strap. But again, there it is. I really like it. We'll see what happens through the summer. And, you know, the other thing is just in the summertime, these get so funky with all that stuff that gets in there. This is just easy to wash. So, but because I usually wear my watches. I rarely take them off. In fact, I slept with this one last night. I just forgot to take it off, and I woke up this morning and I noticed it was on my wrist because I hit myself with it. But at any rate, so that should say something. It's comfortable. All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about it, hit it in the comments below. Have a good day.